Hare Krishna, Vinod.
Hare Krishna.
कैसे हो?
Okay.
आ जाओ, let's start.
Hare Krishna. बढ़िया अंकल, बढ़िया सब.
हरे कृष्ण विनोद.
Hare Krishna आंटी जी.
चलो आइए.
Okay, let's start the prayers.
ठीक है.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजाङ्घ्रिहे. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर उन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna everyone, and
Hare
welcome you all on our ongoing discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam. So yesterday we discussed a bit about New Year. How can we do some commitment towards New Year, and a bit on reliability we discussed for half an hour yesterday. So definitely we are actually fortunate that from last almost more than 3 months we have been studying or seeing Srimad Bhagavatam continuously from last 3 months. Definitely we have done some very good pious activities, not pious activity, in fact we have association of devotees in our last previous lives. That's why we could come along and discuss on Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's again a great commitment from everyone. I really appreciate it, and also it's helping me a lot too. So let's continue our discussion where we have left last year, isn't it? As a year back. So we were discussing about how about the Gajendra Moksha, and then the churning of churning of ocean milk, actually milk ocean, and then in that thing what happened, we left at the point where Lord Shiva, just 1 second, yeah. So Lord Shiva came there and drank all the poison. The very first thing came out from that churning of ocean is the poison. And as per the request of all the devatas and Lord Krishna himself, Vishnu himself, Lord Shiva appeared there, came there and drank all the poison. And he went back to his Kailash Dham. Right. And later on, he got to know about that Krishna appeared as Mohini Murti, a very beautiful woman. And she cheated these demons and gave the nectar to the devatas. So when that happened, so Lord Shiva came to know about this kind of incarnation of Lord Hari as a Mohini Murti. So he thought, oh, I missed this incarnation. I have seen all the incarnation of Krishna, but I think I have missed this one. So desiring to see this beautiful form of Lord, he went to see Vishnu with Mother Parvati. So that is how we enter chapter number 12. That is the Krishna's showing again this Mohini Murti Rupa to Lord Shiva. So there, And Lord Shiva with Mother Parvati, they went there and offered their prayer to Lord Vishnu. And then he said, you are Lord of all the demigods, and you are all pervading master of the universe. And by your energy, you are transformed into the creation, and you are the root and the efficient cause of everything. You are not material. Indeed, you are the super soul or supreme living force of everything. Therefore, you are Parmeshwar, the supreme controller of all controllers. So by saying more prayers to Lord Vishnu, he said that uh, you are even Jagdisha, and you are controller of all the controllers. And then he describes the qualities of pure devotees. He says the pure devotees are or the great saintly persons who desire to achieve the highest goal in the life, and who are completely free from all material desires for sense gratification, and they engage constantly in the transcendental service of the lotus feet. So that is how Lord Shiva glorifies the devotees or the saintly persons who desire nothing, and the highest goal of their life is to get free from this material desire of sense enjoyment and engage themselves in rendering service to lotus feet of Lord Hari. And then they say, even the devotees, they worship you without any material desire, and also they give up all the attachment to material enjoyment, and you are also supremely independent. It says, you are completely independent. We discussed the same thing from chapter first verse of this Bhagavatam as well. Krishna is independent, and he is Swarat. He also knows everyone and every living being as well. And by glorifying this Lord Shiva, see, this is again a good way we can learn from this, that if we want something from anyone, first glorify the person and then fulfill our desire. So Lord Shiva glorified Lord Vishnu, and he saw that about his the devotees and about himself, and then he requested. He said that I want to see your incarnation as Mohini Murti. So please reveal that form to me. I want to see that form. How did you came in the form of a beautiful woman? And I have never seen that form. So I wish to see that form. So please fulfill my desire. So please reveal your that form to me. And Lord Krishna, Vishnu, he actually smiled there, and he was a bit grave that he's going to captivate Lord Shiva. And then he replied that that in a jokingly way, because they are on the translator platform, they can do their joking as well. And somehow or the other, Lord said that form is for demons, and especially to make them captivate with lusty desire. Before showing that form, Krishna is saying that that form is actually for the demons, and I came that in a beautiful form to captivate these demons. And we understood earlier that how the demons, they got captivated by the lusty desire of Mohini Murti, and then they gave the pot, the nectar of pot to Mohini Murti, and then how Mohini Murti cheated all the demons. And then Lord Krishna said that you are sober, and even the other the devatas, they didn't got captivated by seeing that form of mine. So there is no need for you to see that as well. However, devotee explains here that internally Lord is indicating that, Lord Shiva, you will also fall in the whirlpool of lusty desire by seeing that form. And if you do, don't blame me. So these are loving exchanges between these two, Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva. And then by speaking all these words, Lord Vishnu disappeared from the sight of Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati. So both were, maybe you can imagine that three were talking. Lord Shiva and Lord Mother Parvati, they are talking with Lord Vishnu, and by saying these words, Lord Vishnu disappeared from them. And then Lord Shiva started searching where he has gone. And then after some time, actually, he could see a beautiful lady, a beautiful woman coming towards him. And the illusion, the Maya energy of Lord Vishnu, it's again, there are, both Vishnu and Lord Shiva are playing at the time. So jokingly, it's happening with all, kind of in a mood of joking. So Lord Shiva somehow or other got illusioned, and he had also, generated a lusty desire, and he started chasing that woman, beautiful woman. And after some time, Lord Shiva got back to his own consciousness and thought, oh my God, what I was doing over there, and how I could get into that kind of desire. And then after regaining his consciousness back, Lord Shiva, he got a bit embraced. And the learning we get it from that, this should teach all of us that they both Vishnu and Shiva are playing in a joking pastimes, right? So we don't have to imitate, like, by saying that, okay, if Lord Shiva could do these things, then what's the wrong with me? It's not like that. This Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, they are on that platform, and they are, this pastimes actually in a loving exchange with them. And then he says that, no, my mental energy could not captivate Lord Shiva, so I have to manifest my eternal spiritual energy, right? And what he's saying, that Krishna is saying that even my potency is Mother Parvati, so she could not captivate Lord Shiva as well. Even Lord Shiva is also always in a trance of meditation, and so I had to manifest in my spiritual energy to captivate Lord Shiva, and in a mode of playing. And it was not an easy task to captivate Lord Shiva. And then we need to be very extremely careful, actually, with the association of the opposite gender. That's a lesson for us from this pastime. And then after saying that, Lord then come back in his own form and appeared before Lord Shiva. And then the Maya can actually never captivate you. Lord says that Maya can never captivate you. It just kind of, I wanted to make some play game, so we had this pastimes. And then Lord Shiva, by seeing this Mohini Murti form, and he glorified Lord Vishnu to Mother Parvati, to Bhavani. He's saying that, see how glorious my Lord is, and my Lord is so powerful that he even captivated me in a loving affair, right? So this the pastime happened between Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, where Lord Shiva wanted to see the Mohini Murti form of Lord again. And then after this chapter, in chapter 13, we imagine, just remember back, we in this canto we are discussing about the Manus as been requested by Parikshit Maharaj. Sukdev Goswami is continuing describing the Manus. So now he has described till 6th Manu, and now he is going to describe further. So from 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. So we know that there are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma, and then he is describing next. So 7th Manu in chapter number 13. So rest all the Manus. 7th Manu is the one which we are living in now. So we are, if you see the Manu who is ruling in currently, it's called a 7th Manu, or Shraddha Deva is also called as, right? And he is son of Vivaswan. And in the similar way, in this chapter, 7th Manu, 8th Manu, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14, all are being described as Sukdev Goswami describe the future Manu who is going to be. And next Manu is Swami, so who is again a son of Vivaswan. So this Manu, Shraddhadev, is son of Vivaswan and Samja. And then we also discussed earlier that in each Manuvantar, this Manu is a ruling Manu, and then Manu Putras, and then Lord Incarnation, and then Lord's activity, then who is Indra, and who are the Devatas, and who are the sages are being described. Now, similar way, in this whole chapter, it's like, next Manu is Daksha, then next Manu is Brahma, and he described about Vamana. He says this Manvantara avatar is Vaman Dev in 7th Manu, where Vamandev appeared to take away all the wealth from Bali Maharaj. And he described that the activities Lord Krishna do in the form of Vamana, or as a dwarf, that he took the whole world from Bali as a gift in just 3 steps. And by saying this, he continued describing about 8th and other Manus. And this Bali Maharaj, we'll see in maybe in next 2 chapters, Bali Maharaj actually, he is going to become next Manu, next Indra. So in 8th Manu, Bali Maharaj will become Indra. And Maharaj is actually grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. So son of Prahlad Maharaj is Virochana, and son of Virochana is Bali Maharaj. And then he describes about the Adityas, Vashus, Rudras, and all others. Right. In a similar way, he continues describing till all the 14 Manus. And after that, as in, like, he says in the period of 12th Manu, the Manu will be Rudra Swarini, and whose sons are headed by Devavan, and the demigods are Haridas and Haritash and others, and Indra will be Rathadhama, and similarly others being described in this chapter number 13. And at the end he says the total duration of the periods ruled by these Manus is calculated to be 1000 Chaturyuga. So each Manu, they rule for 1000 Chaturyuga. And I think we have discussed elaborately about how this happens. There's 4 yugas: Satyuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Kali Yuga. And this kind of cycle of 1000 cycle becomes one ruling period for one Manu. In a similar way, for 14 Manus rule over in one day of Brahma. And then in chapter 14, Parshit Maharaj inquired a question to Sukdev Goswami. He's saying that, "O Sukdev Goswami, please explain to me that how Manu and others in each Manvantara are engaged in their respective duties, and by whose order so they engaged." And to answer this question, Sukdev Goswami says that now, all the Manus as well as their son. So 6 things are described in Manvantara things: Manu, their son, the sages, the Devatas, the Indras, and the Lord and his activity. So the Manus, their son, the sages, the Devatas, and the Indras, they act under the order of various incarnations of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Sukdev Goswami is saying that these actually are being controlled by Manvantara avatar of Krishna in that in the specific Manu, and he orders everything how to do it. And at the end of every Chatur Yuga, which is consisting of Satya Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Kali Yuga, the sages they act under the orders of Supreme Lord and distribute this Vedic knowledge, and thus reinitiate these eternal religious principles. And Manu's duty is to re-establish the system of the religion. And Manu's sons, they execute the Manu's order. And thus the entire universe is being maintained by Manu and his descendants. So the Indra are actually various rulers of the heavenly planet, and they are assisted by the Devatas, and they rule the 3 worlds. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead also appear as an incarnation in different yugas. So he appears as Sanaka, Sanandana, Dattatreya, and others, and he gives instructions in spiritual knowledge. And he also provides the knowledge about the prescribed duties, the principle of yogic mystic or mystic yoga, and others. And as like sages like Marichi and others, he creates progeny as the king. He punishes the miscreants, and in the form of time he annihilates the creation. So everything is somehow or other being controlled by Lord Krishna. And Prabhupada says that one may argue, if all the powerful Supreme Personality of Godhead can do anything simply by his will, then why has he arranged for so many personalities to manage? And that is how and why he does this cannot be understood by those who are under the clutches of Maya. So Prabhupada says, just to understand Krishna with our analysis, it's not possible to understand. It's like, we understand that, okay, in a country we have a prime minister who is actually the controller of country, but still he nominates so many different kind of positions, like someone's a railway minister, someone is a finance minister, someone is others and others, and that is how they quietly work for him. And in a similar way, Krishna nominate different persons for giving different parts of this whole cosmos, right? And then, so this is one of the smallest chapter in whole Bhagavatam, and where it says about the system of universal management. And so I'll just repeat it again. Who engages Manu as others is Supreme Lord, and Manus and others are chosen by the representatives Manvantara incarnations. And the duties of sages are even described as at the end of each cycle, the great sages they re-establish the religious principles, and the Manu establishes the occupational duties as per the instructions by Lord. And the sons of Manu and the Devatas, they actually enjoy the results of the sacrifices. And the duties of Indra, specifically being said there, that by receiving benedictions from the Lord, he enjoys opulences and also maintains the jiva with rain. So from rain, again, there's an analogy of how from rain everything comes up in this world, right? So going ahead in chapter 15, Parshit Maharaj, being very kind of inquisitive to know and understand about Lord, his activities and pastime, he asked a question again, right? And he asked a question saying that why do in this, in seventh Manvantar avatar, why do Vamana Dev begged? So what was the reason for Vamana Dev to go and beg to Bali Maharaj? And though the Vamana Dev gave everything, then why did Lord arrested him? So these were the question asked by Parshit Maharaj, because Sukadeva Goswami very, in a very briefly, he said that in this seventh Manvantar, Lord came as Vamanadev and he take away all the things from Bali Maharaj as a gift. So he wanted to understand, he wanted to know more about this pastime. So Sukadeva Goswami continues this pastime again. Just remember, when we are discussing about Samudra Manthan, at the end, there was a great fight between Bali Maharaj and Indra. And initially, Bali Maharaj was winning, but after the blessings of Lord Krishna or Vishnu, then Bali Maharaj was actually being defeated by Indra. And we also understood that when then Narada Muni came by the instruction of Brahmaji to stop the war, to stop the fight, and then all the devatas they went back to the heavenly kingdom, and then the demons they took Bali Maharaj and they went back to their guru Sukracharya. And also we discussed that Sukracharya, by his mystic power, by his Sanjivani mantra, he actually regained all the demons he could, and also Bali Maharaj was been regained his consciousness. So Sukadeva Goswami goes back to that story and then continued from there, and then said that Sukracharya, who is actually guru of all the demons, he regained the consciousness of Bali Maharaj and he advised him to do a sacrifice. That is called as Vishwajita Yajna. So he asked him to do Vishwajit Yajna, and after performing that Vishwajit Yajna, Bali Maharaj did it very, very nicely, with very opulently, and with very great affection and respect to the Brahmanas and Devatas also. So he did the sacrifice, and from that sacrifice he received so many things, so many divine paraphernalia he achieved. And important one he got is a celestial chariot, as if like Indra, and the horses it's like those of Indra's, and the flag was marked with a lion, and many more things he achieved from this yajna, Vishwajit Yajna. And after that, just after ending the sacrifice, he also received a garland from Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj is his grandfather, right? And he got so many blessings from the sages of Bhrigu dynasty, and all the Brahmanas, they actually in the dynasty they blessed Bali Maharaj. And then now Bali Maharaj, after performing this sacrifice, he prepared his whole army, and he went back again to attack the Devatas and Indra, and he went to heavenly planet to attack all these things. And there's a small description of heavenly planet being given, how heavenly planet is. So the heaven or the Indraloka has been described as there are so many orchards, gardens, and the flowers, very very nice smelling flowers, and the leaves, and the so many chirping birds, and they used to sing. A very beautiful woman, and they used to sport in the garden, and with all the devatas over there, and this whole city is constructed by Vishwakarma, and it's fully filled with the sound of musical instruments, and they constantly dance and sing there. Apsaras, they roam around on the roads, kind of things are there. And by that, at the end is being said that in that kingdom, no one who was sinful, envious, violent, cunning, falsely proud, lusty, or greedy could enter the city. So that's a small description of Indra's city. And by that, Bali Maharaj, with all his force, and who was the commander of these numberless soldiers, gathered his soldiers outside the abode of Indra and attacked it from all directions. So he actually made a plan and just attacked from everywhere, from all the direction. And then, just as advised by his spiritual master Sukracharya, and he made a very very fearful situations for everyone there in Indra's loka. And Indra got surprised to see how Bali Maharaj, he could attack this heavenly planet, or the way he has planned to attack this. He was quite surprised. And then very soon he actually went to spiritual master Brahspati, and he went to Brahspati and he asked, how could it happen? How could this uh, Bali got his power, and no one, and then actually no one anywhere can counteract these military arrangements of Bali Maharaj. And it now appears that Bali is trying to drink up the entire universe with his mouth, and he's describing these things to his guru Brahspati. And then he says, please inform me what is the cause of the strength uh, Bali Maharaj has got, and from where does he got his power, and how could he get influenced, and how can he get the victory? So how he becomes so much enthusiastic to conquer this kingdom again? Then Brahspati replied, saying that it's the power of Brahmana, and actually he had pleased the Brahmanas, and with very great service. So just before we discussed that the Vishwajita Yajna, or sacrifice being made by the arrangement of Sukracharya, and then there Bali Maharaj actually did it very very opulently with great service to the Brahmanas, and that is the blessings what he got. That is how he became so powerful, and these all being blessed, and the powers are from these Brahmanas blessings. And actually Brahaspati is indirectly saying that you devatas have not pleased us in such a way, and if you can do, then also we can also provide this kind of blessings to you all. And uh, now he warned that neither you nor any man can conquer the most powerful Bali at this point of time. This point of time is very much favoring to Bali, and he is so powerful now. So he suggested that you wait until his power is being reversed. And he said that no, it will happen. It will happen when later time Bali is going to insult Brahmanas, and at that time his power will be reversed. So for time being, you have to leave this kingdom, or the heavenly planet, and go away. And then, as by instructions given by their guru Brahspati, so all the devatas and Indras, they all actually they assume different forms, and according to their desires, they left the heavenly kingdom and scattered in the way that being not being absorbed by the demons. So after saying that no one is there, then Bali Mara actually ruled the heavenly planet for 100 years, and he for many actually years. And then he also engaged for doing so many yajnas, uh, as advised by the Brahmanas and the Bhrugus. dynasties. And then he actually was able to conquer, he controlled the whole three planets, because when you go to the heavenly planet, you definitely conquer other planets as well. And then he ruled these three planets for a long time. And this is how we discussed about chapter 15. And in chapter 16 chapter, what happens, the mother of these devatas, Aditi. So Aditi, she become very morose by seeing that all the devatas, because devatas are son of Aditi. And by seeing that, she actually kind of, in a very distressed position. And after many days, Kashyapa Muni, his husband, he returned home to see Aditi. And by seeing Aditi in this such condition, he asked about the reason of her moroseness. And he says, are you okay? Is everything all good? Or have you been, treating the guest properly? Have you been, taking care of cows, the brahmanas, and everything all good? And she inquired a lot of things from Aditi. And Aditi replied that, everything is all good actually. The cows, the brahmana, the guest, the servants, beggar, everything is all good. I could, serve everyone. However, the reason of my distress is because my son, the devatas, are derived from heaven. So they are flowing here and there. They don't have any proper place to stay now. So that is the real cause of my distress. And she glorified again to Kashyap Muni, saying that you are actually equal to both devatas and demons, because both are your sons, Diti and Aditi. So from Diti, all the sons lineage comes as the demons, and from Aditi are the devatas. So, and both fathers are Kashyapa Muni. So however, he said that Supreme Lord is same like you, but Supreme Lord is especially inclined towards the righteous and favorable to the devotees. So could you please grant such auspiciousness, and please consider the situation of all the son of mine, and bestow some benediction to my son, so that they can regain what they have lost. So basically, the Aditi is requesting Kashyapa Muni, so please do something. Please favor my sons to regain their position, and they has been derived from the heaven now. And by understanding this, Kashyapa Muni continues. Kashyapa Muni understood the mood of Aditi, and he describes, says that he start giving nice kind of instructions to Aditi, saying that this metal body, what is the metal body? This metal body is made of 5 elements, and it is different from spirit soul. Indeed, the spirit soul is completely different from the metal element from which the body is made. So, but because the bodily attachment, one is regarded as a husband, a son, or others. And these illusory relationships are caused by misunderstanding. So, he's actually giving a understanding that the body and the soul are different. And then, anyway, Kashyap Muni advises Aditi to perform devotional service. He said, okay, if you want to do it, you can perform devotional service to Lord Hari and fulfill your desire. He says, my dear Aditi, engage yourself in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the master of everything and who can subdue everyone's enemies and who sits within everyone's heart. So only that Supreme Person, Krishna or Vasudeva, can bestow all auspiciousness benedictions upon everyone. For he is a supreme spiritual master of the universe. And he guided her, Aditi, towards worshipping Lord Vishnu. And then in fact, he actually glorifies Supreme Lord as well. He says, Supreme Lord is very merciful, and he is very merciful to the poor. Also, he will fulfill all your desires, and for devotional service unto him is infallible. So if you do proper devotional service towards him, and he will fulfill your desire. Actually, you know here Kashyapa Muni is acting as a very, very kind of right spiritual master, as a guru, because a guru, his real duty is to take his disciples towards supreme personality of Godhead. We understood earlier as a sloka, akama sarva kama va moksha kama udaradi tibrena bhakti yogena yajite purusham param. Even if you have a desire, even if you want liberation, or if you have no desire, then also in every stages we should, with full enthusiasm, we should worship Lord Hari. And that the same thing is being done by Kashyapa Muni here. And Prabhupada writes very nicely in the purport, saying that Lord Krishna is very merciful to everyone. He is very merciful to everyone. Therefore, if one wants to fulfill his material desires, Krishna helps him. And of course, sometimes if a devotee is very sincere, the Lord, as a special favor to him, refuses to fulfill his material desire and directly blesses him with pure, unalloyed devotional service. That is the highest goal. Material desires, you remember, in Dhruva Maharaj, he said, I was searching for broken glasses, got the real gem now by seeing you, Lord Krishna. So that is how Krishna favors. He knows very well what will be, good for my devotees. So that is he provides. And Prabhupada quotes a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. He says from Madhya, Krishna kahe ama bhaje mage vishayar sukha, amrita chhadi vishaya mage ei bada murkha. Ami bigya ei murkhe vishaya kina diba, seva chanamrita diya vishaya bhulaiba. So Krishna says, if one engages in my transcendental loving service, but at the same time wants the opulent of material enjoyment, he is very, very foolish. Indeed, he is just like a person who gives up ambrosia to drink poison. So since I am very intelligent, why should I give this full material prosperity? Instead, I shall induce him to take the nectar of the shelter of my lotus feet and make him forget this illusory material enjoyment. So Krishna, he favors his devotees and he guides us toward the real nectar rather than this material enjoyment. Yesterday we discussed, this material enjoyment is all kind of, it comes again and again and again. We are chewing the same chewed. But here, Prabhupada says that Krishna gives the real benediction to his devotees. And then Kashyapa Muni, he explained it, and also at the end he said that when I had a desire for offspring, I actually placed this inquiries before Lord Brahma, and then who is born from the lotus flower. And now I will explain you the same process what Brahma just told to me. So he said that how Lord Brahma has instructed me to worship Keshava to get my benedictions. So that's called as basically this is called as Payovrata. So Kashyapa Muni, he's going to describe the whole process of Payovrata to Aditi, so that she can engage herself with whole mind, body, and soul in the service of Lord Vishnu, Lord Keshava, Lord Mukunda, to fulfill her desire, the desire of getting his son, the Devatas, to regain their position of kingdom. I think it's 2014 now. So what we will do is we will actually continue with this, the process what Kashyapa Muni describes towards to Mother Aditi from tomorrow, because we are on half of this chapter, and we'll continue it from tomorrow. Any questions, any thoughts, please let me know. We can discuss on that. Okay, so looks good. If there is no question, then we can end here today. Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Shiva
Hare
tomorrow.
Krishna.
Tomorrow, everybody.